Welcome back to No Nonsense, a massive weekend of association football just gone. We had Premier League action, the last game before the international break. So, really sets you up in the right way or the wrong way. We also had the Carabao Cup final between Man City and Arsenal, first trophy of the season. I heard it described as a major trophy, which made me think there are no other trophies these days. There isn't like Intertoto Cup anymore, unless you're counting like pre-season, I guess. Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Is that a slight dig at Chelsea? Is that what that was?
It does feel like the Carabao Cup is a major trophy if a major team is in the final. That's the only time. If it was like last year, when was it when Newcastle won it? I don't think anyone was like, this is huge.
Last year, yeah.
A massive trophy, the biggest there is. I think people were like, that's nice for Newcastle.
Yeah, I guess with the Conference League when West Ham won it was kind of like, this is great for them. But I tell you what, Will, the Conference League isn't one of the four pillars of the quad, which has now been dashed. Gratefully, it's been dashed for another year. I'm so glad it's over. The quad talk is not good for anybody. And, without getting into amateurs, psychiatry here, or psychologically maybe. I don't know, one of those disciplines of the mind, sports minds. You could say if Arsenal won this, they would have thought, oh, okay, well, look, we've won something for the first time in 5 years or 6 years. That's something. Whereas now they might be saying, okay, well, just as a reminder, we have to go win these games, But we don't know. Like I said, it's completely made up. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know these people at all. We're just guessing. It could be one or the other. They could collapse from here, or they could say, right, now we really lock in. But we don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think the main thing you could take from it is that coming into the Arsenal City game now in a few weeks, which is a pretty big one, City are obviously going to be more up for that now. But you would have to think Arsenal are going to be like, all right, we can't do what we did there again. That's not going to work. So maybe now they'll try something different and they might get a better result out of it. Or again, City will be bolstered on. I think the real psychological thing that I made up in my head from it was...
Okay, I want to hear this.
It didn't feel like they were playing for the Carabao Cup. It felt like they were playing for the quad, Carl. They were freaking out from minute one. They were like, keep it tight. We can't afford to lose this. Like, it's the Carabao Cup. You totally can. You can give it a go. But it felt like it was bigger than the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I feel that's how they play every game I've seen this year. Like, it was a joyless occasion once again.
Which finals are.
And you're hoping... Even for a final, even for a final, this was joyless. I mean, the first few minutes, I was like, oh god, here we go. This is it. But they were just sitting off City, waiting for them to kind of rush in. Like the foolish, inexperienced manager Pep is, he'd have his team rush in and try to get around them. I feel like every time Pep plays Arteta, and partly because he learned a lot from him, he knows exactly what his team is going to do. And Arteta's always shocked by this, that the guy who taught him everything knows what he's going to do.
I was just going to say, what's more frustrating is he doesn't change. Even when things are clearly not working, he goes, well, this was the plan though, so I don't really know now, lads. Just keep doing it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't have a lot of time and they played Champions League on a Wednesday and had this game on the Sunday, but Tottenham always beat Man City. No matter how good or bad they're going. And the footage is there. It's probably on site in Arsenal. All Tottenham's games I've ever played recorded. Look at that. Yeah. There must be doing something that you can take in those few days to go, well, okay, even as a plan B. Let's say that the Arteta ball isn't working. What does that Tottenham do every single time with either Gareth Bale or Brennan Johnson, and they can still win. It doesn't matter. I don't know, but every time that Arteta plays Pep or Arsenal, Man City, whatever, he seems to have his number. And yeah, again, on Saturday it was or on Sunday I should say, it was more the same. It was really conservative, wait for them to make a mistake, and if they don't make a mistake, there isn't really an option outside of that. I mean, a couple of times I was saying to you beforehand that by mistake it felt like they kind of launched the ball high to Gyökeres. And he's a big, strong, athletic guy, and he was causing a little bit of trouble, and maybe something might break to you. But I would feel Arteta was looking at that going, well, we're not in control of that situation at all. Like, that's random, which I don't like. Man City knew exactly what Arsenal are trying to do. It's like, we're not going to rush in. You're going to have to play by us, which you can't do, or try and launch us long, which you might have some success, but I bet you won't that either. And then it was Kepa who made the mistake. And once that goal went in, then City knew they were sweet, because it was like, well, you're not going to attack us because you haven't done that all season. You probably don't know how to anymore. Anytime the ball got to Saka, haven't told Mark, that's the only other kind of attack they have. And that was it. And they got a second goal. And like, there's the clip. I suppose this will be like the clip of Pardew dancing. The clip from this final will be Cherky solo on the ball in the middle of the game. Maybe cutting to Pep, shaking his head like, this is disrespectful, lads. I'm not a disrespectful guy. I don't condone this at all. But like, that was it. It was like, that's how much time they had in the ball, because Arsenal were like still like sitting back, and it's hard to disagree with anything that like the Carragers were all saying, that you got to, or even Rodri, you have to go win these games and all the rest of it. It's like, fuck, like, you actually do, like, what can you say?
I mean, it felt like during the game, because it's the way they've been playing all season in the league, and it works in the league. You grind out results, and like, at worst, you get a draw against City. That's fine. That's a point. But it's like, this game ends at 90 minutes and then it goes directly to penalties. It's like, this can't be your plan.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, you see like weaker teams going with a plan. You think they're looking for penalties here. They think this is their best chance, make it a 50-50, because it's not 50-50 during the game. But yeah, I don't know. I think you look at that and you're thinking, this is a good side. And then look at the bench. They have Eze, they have Odegaard, they have, all these players on the bench. They're going to come on, but it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't get them into the game, if you don't involve them in the game, if you don't play that way. Like Madueke coming on, he's run direct, but like, he's only allowed to play 30 minutes, because imagine if you do that all game, it'd be crazy. Yeah. Meanwhile, they have Semenyo and Doku starting. And like, I don't know if you saw a clip of Semenyo saying how he basically skinned Kepa. He named checked him. I was like, Jesus, like, I've never seen that before. He's like, I was going around there in Kepa, I think it was. And then Ian Wright goes, you had him on his hind legs, had him on skates. And he's like, yeah, that's what I do. I was like, just completely disrespectful.
Yeah, it was a disrespectful display. Like a pretty embarrassing one for Arsenal, because look, obviously they lose the trophy. That's not good. Like I said, Sharky's solo on the ball, Semenyo's name checking your defenders. There's another clip going around, which I thought was fake, but it is real, of Sharky feigning an injury, and it's filmed from the crowd, and he rolls towards the City fans, and he pops up and he looks at them and he gives them a smile, and then he goes back to feign an injury, which is like, surely that's like a lifetime ban from the game. That's like blatant cheating.
If you haven't seen it and you're old enough to remember the David Luiz incident against Man United, this is way worse than that. This is way more obvious. Like, say, when you said it first, like, that's crazy, and then later thought, I bet that's AI.
I thought the same, yeah.
But apparently it's not. And it's really, really blatant. But that's how much they felt in control. They felt like these guys can't do anything to us. Yeah. Like, we can literally just like pretend this is all a joke, and VAR's not going to come into it. We're in total control. They're not offering anything going forward. So yeah, I mean, it's a bad one. And again, psychologically, we don't know how they're handling it. I guess most of them are probably heading off to international breaks. I don't know what the procedure is. Do they meet up first? Do they just go home after the final?
That'd be mad.
Do they not see each other for 2 weeks? I don't know. I'm assuming they meet up and have something like a debrief of it. Another joyless kind of Arteta debrief session. But yeah, I think there's two ways. You come back and you go, right, like, this is a wake-up call. We're not going to waltz our way to the league. We have to win every game. FA Cup is going to be more of the same. Champions League, we have to play Barcelona, Real Madrid next. Sporting, we have to get past Sporting. Or it could be, right, lads, the ref screwed us there. I don't know what happened, like, Kepa, what the fuck are you doing out there, Kepa? Kepa, like, I don't know. Do they blame each other? Do they say, we should have won that if it wasn't for this? All the numbers said that we should have won or whatever. I don't know how I would spin that, but it does feel like home truths time. Surely it's like, right, we need to be more. But it does come from the manager. Like, the players can't say, damn it, Mikel.
I was fucking dying to get the ball, Mikel. Kepa wouldn't give it to anyone. You told him not to.
Yeah, what? Why didn't you start fucking Eze? Why is he? Well, the goal he scored against Leverkusen, you put him on the bench? Like, it has to come from Arteta looking at himself going, all right, I need to to do something different here. And I don't know. It was against Man United. I thought they has to change. This is going to blow up in their face. Now I did say they might grind out the league, just because City might lose games. But this is another one where it's like, okay, well, yeah, you need to maybe have a bit more adventure in your play. I think, look at that. If the FA Cup is the same thing, they won't win a knockout game like that. And then, if that's what they play against a better team like City, if they they have to get past Sporting, they might get past Sporting playing like that. But if they play against Real Madrid or PSG or Bayern, 3-0, 4-0 over 2 legs, it'd be awful. And then you'll have the league, which, they might grind out the league just based on the results left, but they have to play City in the league. It's exactly how I felt after they lost to Man United. I was like, this is bad. This is a bad one. And they managed to get back and grind out more games. So it might be enough, but I honestly don't think they're going to win any knockout competitions playing at that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the issue is as well, we've talked about it loads, where it's like, it's all well and good playing that style of play or grinding out results when things are going well. The second a result goes badly, then it's like, well, this is an absolute joke. The whole point of watching football is I'm supposed to be enjoying it, or that it's exciting. So when you're not doing that and you're not getting results, and again, I think they will still grind out the league, but it's just you've such a short rope. Even if they win the league this year, Slot won the league last year. No one gives a fuck about Liverpool or Arne Slot now, because they're just but they're bad now. Who cares? You have to keep it up.
Slot has basically been sacked already in people's minds. Do you know what I mean? He's gone. He lost to Brighton there again, and it's this guy's a fucking, like I say, he won the league 12 months ago, and they don't play exciting stuff. I know he said some mad stuff as well, so it's been a long year. But yeah, you're right. You grind out the league this year, and then, City come back stronger next year or whatever, or Liverpool, sign a right back, and then slob cycle and play in the middle all year long. It's very different. So, I just think there needs to be a bit more kind of plan B, or certainly when you go behind the game, an ability to get back into it. It never felt like they were getting back into that game.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the final, think, okay, right, just throw the kitchen sink at it. You lose 3-0, 2-0, who cares, But they grinded their way to conceding another goal. That's what it felt like. It's okay. That wasn't, they've gone backwards. They didn't have a chance, really. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a tough one for Arteta, a tough one for Arsenal, but like I say, I think they've had setbacks before. They might get back into this, but listen, fair play to City,
Yeah, but that's the other thing now, is that I do think Arsenal will still win the league, but it's more so because City are going to lose. They lose and they win, and then they lose and they win. They're not in crazy form. Whereas again, the grind out thing does get you more consistent 3 points this season.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think they're going to run it a lot closer than they probably need to. I think Arsenal need to go out over the next few weeks and just hammer 4 teams in a row if they can, and just get it over with.
Yeah. I think those City Liverpool years, there's a couple of years that Liverpool team was better than City. On their day when they played each other, you watch that Liverpool team and go, that's a better team. They're better players. But over the course of the season, maybe Klopp's style of play just didn't translate well to 38-game season plus the Champions League plus the FA Cup, whereas City were a bit more controlled, a bit slower maybe, and still a really good team, don't get me wrong, but they're a much better balance between this Arteta team of only grinding out. Do you know what I mean? But it's to win the league, it's a bit different. And they only won one Champions League under Pep. As good as those teams were, that kind of Klopp style is better for knockout competitions, kind of being able to go at a team and blow them away in the first half, and they're oh shit, what's happening now? So yeah, I think there's a definitely a fine balance there between being able to win over, a marathon type team, but then also being able to have a kick at the end, or knockout phase, go at a team. So maybe this Arsenal team is still evolving. Maybe this is the first stage of it. This isn't the final form, but yeah, if he does win the league this year, which he mightn't, it's a very short leash. So you want to evolve to the next form very quickly and play some sexy stuff, or else people are going to be very mad when you don't win the league next year. So yeah, and you'll have fucking Roy Keane calling you bad champions on TV every week. On his podcast, on TV, everything. So there's no room for it. So
what did you think of poor Arteta? I think he did the right thing. He They didn't do anything wrong in not playing Raya. You do have to play Kepa, your cup keeper.
Oh, well, look, this is the conundrum.
A nightmare.
The cup keeper.
Of course, Kepa's at fault for the goal. It's like, it's the one thing now that, like, again, going into the game, it's like, yeah, you have to play him. Like, that's the whole point of having a second keeper, and he plays in these games. But when it goes wrong, it does like, oh, Arteta, you fucking idiot. You've like the best keeper in the world on the bench.
Yeah. The Barcelona-bound Raya on the bench.
Yeah. Oh, he's thinking about it now, let me tell you.
Yeah, it is. I feel you get like old school guys being like, play your top keeper. What are you doing? Even before the game, to be fair to them. They're like, nah, nonsense. Final, play the best players. Don't like it, fucking go somewhere else, you know. But most people are like, well, you know, what's the point of having him then? If he's like, well,
yeah, exactly.
we play in games that don't matter, like the semi-final, but like the final, and it's a surefire way to like turn someone against you. Like if you've got them there, but I mean, you saw Eze before the game, and he looked pretty unhappy. I think Gary Neville, I don't know, but Gary Neville has his own fucking agendas. It was like the light's gone from his eyes. This is the first time I see the light's gone from his eyes. He's not happy. He did that extra voice when he's commentating. He does the, you know.
Yeah, he adds it on.
Which, it's hard to keep everybody happy. You know, it is hard to keep everyone happy. And maybe his eyes are on the league. His eyes are on bigger things than the Carabao Cup. Another manager said, listen, first thing we've won, first thing I've won in 5 years. Maybe I want to make sure of it. Maybe I want to play the best players. But then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kepa's a very popular man in the squad. You know, maybe if people thought you did Kepa dirty, like, oh, this Arteta guy's a prick, actually, you know. And his football is shit. So you don't know. But I mean, it obviously came back to fucking bite him in the ass, and he made that mistake. And
I know the like thinking of like, well, you have to treat your second keeper well, because that way you can get a good second keeper and keep a good second keeper. Like that happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you're not doing that, well, then your second keeper is going to be whoever's willing to not play the big games, and then shit hits the fan. They have to come into the league, and it's a disaster. We've seen that loads of times. But it is a tough one because you forget where Kepa's come from. He was in the famous bomb squad from Chelsea. Like, he wasn't going, you know what I mean? Arsenal were doing him a favour getting him in at all, I would imagine. So yeah. It's a tough one. I don't know if you saw Carragher ranting about it, where he's like, Arteta owes Kepa nothing. He owes him nothing.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, again, it's easy in hindsight to say he should have played him, obviously. But I think if he, like all those games Keller played, like he had Alice on the bench. That's crazy. And listen, we're two Irish podcasters. We love Keller. But like, you know, life is on the line. If you put your life savings in that game and you got to pick who his goalie was in, you'd like, put fucking Allison in. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So like, it is, I think it's just from a squad perspective, from everything, they do it a lot. Managers seem to take this decision a lot. If he's the cup keeper, play him in the cup. No, I have seen the opposite, where, you know, and I'm fairly sure that, I don't know, was it Ortega got dropped a couple times for City, and they played Ederson in a few FA Cup finals, stuff like that. So it's up to the manager, but I've seen a lot happen.
Now, this could be wrong, but I saw someone saying online that Henderson was brought into last year's FA Cup final, but he hadn't actually been playing in the FA Cup games, apparently. But Palace were like, yeah, but he's better. So, you know, now or never, lads. This is why you have the good players.
Well, it is. I mean, and again, I think for Palace, it's like maybe a bit bigger. You know, I think if you were a sub-keeper for Palace, you might understand it more. But if you're a Kepa, at one time the most expensive keeper in the world, you know, an ego so big he wouldn't get taken off. It's like, no, I'm good enough for penalties, and let them all in. You know,
in the same competition, by the way.
I saw all the infographics, Will. I saw them all, but yeah, I think it's. If I had to guess, and again, all this stuff is guesswork, but I'd say for the relationship with the squad and the different players, I'd say it would have been a bad move for them to. And what if they lost anyways?
Exactly. Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? What if Ryan made a mistake? Gee,
yes,
Mac.
Exactly. Chaos.
That's even worse. You know? So, yeah, I easy in hindsight. And I think it's not that he owes Kepa or something. I think it's just for the squad. He wants to keep the peace and say, look, he's earned this. And again, you can't be like, these are the standards we set. You meet these standards, you earn your place in this team. Unless you're not very good, of course. Then unless someone better comes along immediately, we'll just bring him in. It can undermine. So whatever he's saying, maybe he felt that it would undermine the message. I don't know, but it's a nightmare for him, and he'd be lucky to find himself at Crystal Palace soon. I think this will be the end of his Arsenal career, and he might go on to be like Martinez. Go to Aston Villa and have a second win of the career, but I doubt it. And I guess for City, if you want to do amateur, brain stuff again. Do they feel now like, all right, well, the season wasn't a total disgrace. We've got our hands on the trophy again. Or do they say, right, now we can push on. Now we can win the FA Cup and we can win a treble. Fuck that, we can win a treble. It's hard to know.
I'm sure you saw Pep, the way he was reacting when the goals were going in. He was more animated than I think I've seen him in a long time. He really felt like this one mattered to him. Which again, I do think points to the he's thinking, cherish these moments. This is the last season for me.
Well, you can't have your former assistant beating you in a final and not have your last game of your career. That's the last season. Don't think so. Not Pep. And he also played Trafford in goal, who, I haven't seen him since that first couple of games. Went, all right, fuck this, by Donnarumma. That was the last time I saw him play. So he's always played the cup all the way up. They played him, and that was fine. And he made some pretty good saves, actually. So, he doesn't know Trafford singling either. So, whatever.
If anything, he actually does owe Trafford.
Now he does, yeah. Maybe he does. But, I think it could be, okay, this is, like last season, they didn't win anything at all, which is the first time since, 2018, I think it was? Maybe 2017?
Something like, was it the first Pep season that was a bit of a disaster?
I think 2018 he came in. They didn't, I think they might have won the Carabao Cup though. Honestly,
actually, that rings a bell.
Because remember they went on every Carabao, the first 5 Carabao Cups they did, and they won easily. I was like, well, this is a fucking joke competition. But then they would win the treble. They won the FA Cup. Then they won the league. But they won, they won last year was the first year because Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, Liverpool won the league, United won the FA Cup against City. Was that last season?
No, Palace won it last year. That was 2
Sorry,
seasons.
Palace won against City.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why last season felt so bad for City, because it was the first year they weren't lifting a trophy. So this year that they had to win it, they had to win something. They're also still in the FA Cup and still very much in the league. So one or two ways. They'll go, right, it's not a total failure, we're all still good. Or they'll say, well, fuck it, these Arsenal are the only ones in front of us, we can beat them.
My only thing with them was they didn't look like they were better than Arsenal and they controlled the game and all that stuff, but they weren't unbelievable or anything. I mean, again, the first goal they got was they kicked it right at Kepa's hands and bounced in between them. But they weren't tearing Arsenal apart, I don't think, or anything like that.
No.
Haaland did very little as well. No, I think Saliba was actually very good in the game, but it didn't feel like this City team could tear anyone apart in the league. It's I could easily see them dropping way more points as the season goes on. Again, it all comes down, is Haaland scoring or not?
Yeah, the first half highlights were just Saliba and Haaland pulling on each other. It was the quick combination, just bashed into each other. It was this is way more exciting. This makes this look way more exciting. I wish the cameras were on them for the whole game then, rather than just this backward sideways stuff. But I don't know. I think it does feel increasingly like that Pep's going to leave. And he's won the Carabao Cup again, and that's good. We're semi-final FA Cup. League still there. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that they're not the unbeatable team. It's not that they just had to believe themselves. I think there is probably weakness in the side. But I just think it's a strange time for it to happen, and then the international break, and then they go on some of them were in qualification for the World Cup. So it could be very different mixed emotions for different players. I know we'll get to it in another episode, but Gerald Kwanzaa got injured. So instead of calling up Trent, they called up Ben White, who hasn't played since 2022.
Wow.
So there's players there who are looking forward to a break, and there's players who are injured, players who are So I haven't seen the full landscape of who's going to be where and when.
There's a lot of I think a lot of Arsenal players actually particularly that today pulled out of the international break. Niggles here and there. A lot of the Brazil squad pulled out.
The qualified
if you're
ones.
already qualified,
Yeah.
Boss, why are you calling me up in case I get injured and then I can't go to the tournament? That makes no sense. Bring a child instead. So I think a lot of the Arsenal team I saw today were like, oh, can't make it anymore, actually. Changed my mind.
Yeah, so we don't know these things, but maybe they're having an internal kind of meeting now or whatever. I don't know about let's all stick together here. I don't know. But Ben White's heading off.
He can't wait.
He can't wait. And for some players, it's better to get out of it. Like, imagine having to go in now and Rice having a players only meeting. Like, oh,
every day for the next 3 weeks.
Talk about responsibility, accountability, and sacrifice. Like, oh my fucking God. I know I have to do all these things. Away from the Carabao Cup, set each for another year. We had the Premier League. Not the two title race guys, two title race teams not playing. The main focus was on the relegation battle, and particularly the relegation 6-pointer between Tottenham and Nottingham Forest. This was the big one, and I think us, two very keen, sharp footballing punditry minds, spotted this from a mile away. Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, that's a 6-pointer, relegation 6-pointer. But by the time it rolled around, so did Tottenham.
Yeah, they noticed.
And they gave it the whole kind of fucking, welcome to hell, welcome to Tottenham. Romero did a captain's message video. I mean, they went the full...
He's back.
You can't say the club didn't do everything they could. Do you know what I mean? The fans, the club, they all got to look, this is it, lads. This is the big one. This is the final game. If you lose this, we're fucked. Now look, I didn't watch the game. Oh, I didn't watch it. So I'm going to sit here and say, oh yeah, they were weak. They livered out there. They didn't want to fight for the team. But all I know for sure is they lost 2-0 in a game they had to win at home to Nottingham Forest, under a relegation threatened side. So I don't know where they go from here, other than down.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking kind of positive the last few weeks. But when you look at the results they got, like they got a 1-1 draw in Anfield against Liverpool. And it's like, that's a good result. But then when you look at the whole season, it's like, so did everyone though. Leeds got that. Man United got that for the first time in about 10 years. Like everyone's beating or dropping points or getting points from Liverpool in Anfield. And then the other result was like, hey, they really gave Atletico Madrid a good go in the second leg. Like, fair play. It's like, they were going into that game 4-1 down though. So it's like, Atletico probably didn't switch on until goal 3, I would assume. So it's like you can't really get too much from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Atletico Madrid game obviously it's like you'll see it now in a few weeks when teams are on the beach. Like Sunderland had a great win there against Newcastle. That puts them ahead of them on the table. They're on 43 points. They've done the double over Newcastle. Everything beyond this point is gravy.
Yes.
Like they're done. Like they've achieved all their goals in their first season back. It's great. And, when it gets to the first week of May and they're still playing the game, they're going to get hammered like 4-0 because they'll just be slightly off the concentration level needed to, put it up to the big teams like they did at the start of the season. And I think Atletico Madrid, the same thing. It's like, right, we're 4-1 up. If we get one goal, it'll be 5-1. I think that's what happened. Talking about the first goal, then Atletico got one goal back. It's like, right, now we're back to square one. They're not going to get 6 goals on us. Like, they got 3. And they got lower back. It's 3-2. It's like, they were never in the game. Like, Atletico Madrid at half paced. We're like, yeah, we still got 2 goals against you at home. That was... So this is Nottingham Forest again. And Nottingham Forest, same thing. They knew well. Like, this is the game to have to win. Now they're ahead of Tottenham. They've put Dale between themselves and West Ham. Still a bit to go in it. They want to win a couple more games, but that's huge. That's the 6-pointer. So, yeah, and some awful news is that Igor Tudor's dad died during the game as well. So, like, just an absolutely awful day for him. And I don't know where that put, like, he can't really take a week off. Or, like, where's that? Like, what do you even do with that? Do you know what I mean? If you're talking, you can't say you're going to sack him.
Well, like I'm sure that's what was going to happen. He was about to be sacked. They were saying as much in the last few weeks. They were looking for managers. Then they got a bit of a result and they said, all right, you know what, give them the Forest game. But then, like I said, this happens. And it's like, okay, well, this is going to make us look incredibly bad if we do this now.
Like, is it even too late now? this was they gave him this game. I think the time to do it was was after the first Atletico Madrid game. It was like, right,
No, it didn't
we're out
work.
of that competition.
Yep, give it a go. Didn't work. We need another guy in.
That second leg is not going to matter no matter what happens. We're going to win that one. It won't matter because we'll have Harry Redknapp in and Peter Crouch, and they're going to get us out of this. They'll be getting going then when he gets to the Nottingham Forest game. That'll be the win when we win. We'll use that as a jumping off point. Now, like I say, you can't sack him. I mean, you can, but like Jesus Christ! I mean, what a final shit cherry that would be, or a cherry up the fucking shit Sunday of the league of the year that would be for Tottenham. Just awful stuff. And there's only 9 games left.
Less, I think there's 7.
For someone to come in now, what could they even do in 7 games? It's I think they're going down. I thought it was going to be Nottingham Forest. I thought they didn't have the pedigree. I thought the players were too new. That they're like that we'll get sold. Now I think it's the Tottenham players are thinking we'll go somewhere else.
There really is no, whatever if it's 2-1 or last minute win or something, to get hammered 3-0 in the must-win relegation game is you don't even see that in the relegation scraps usually. You know what I mean? You don't really see the Burnleys. Remember a few weeks ago, Burnley, did they beat or they lost to Brentford 5-4 or something like that? It's because they're up for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Spurs just withered away.
Yeah, I think they may have drawn 1-1 with Wolves, Burnley. Because that's how you do that one. No one wants to lose this. We're just to lose 3-0.
Hammered.
Wow, it wasn't close.
Igor Jesus scored. He's not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, he's a money laundering instrument. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see them getting out of this now, especially with the news of the manager's dad passing away. I mean, it's just everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Yeah, it's kind of shocking to think. And look, West Ham are still below them technically, right? But I don't see how they're going to get out. I don't know how you go from this loss to then go, right, now we're going to win 3 games from the bounce and get out of this. It's not going to happen. Nottingham Forest are one of the other worst teams in the league. The other teams are better than them.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I mean, Spurs haven't won a game in the Premier League this year. And it's nearly April now. So you're talking about nearly the entire second half of the season. And West Ham, they are below them. But I mean, anytime you watch West Ham, they're actually pretty good. They've been unlucky in a few games. They've had a few last minute ones. And yeah, they'll lose games. But it's but they have Jared fucking Bowen. Do you know what I mean? He will score. He'll get them a point here and there. Whereas I don't know. Richarlison might score a few, but not as much as some of the lads at the back are going to give away. Yeah,
they've won a game in 2026.
Oh, did they?
So, no, West Ham have. So that just in terms of the differences between we're talking about a team that hasn't won a game. So any team really who do West Ham have? They have to play Leeds next. Leeds I've heard described as sleepwalk into this. They're getting slowly dragged to hell. So Leeds don't want to lose that either.
I don't think Leeds have scored in quite a few games now. I think it's been a while.
Listen, I had Calvert-Lewin for quite a few of those games.
Yeah.
I can confirm he didn't score many goals. I mean, in fantasy football, folks. I can't believe I forgot to my team after such a great week last week.
You're sleepwalking into relegation. You are. I'm dead bottom. I'm
sleepwalking in. You can't be forgetting your team in week 31. That's out yourself. Forgetting to the team when 2 of your players are playing a cup final.
It was on a Friday. It's you should have done it on Monday.
Yeah, I should have done it straight away. It wasn't I was checking the fucking injury list beforehand. I was sleepwalking my way through the week as usual. But yeah, Leeds are sleepwalking away. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. Leeds playing West Ham in the FA Cup quarterfinals. So fucking hell, I don't care about that.
Who cares?
Either of them. Both of them we're just going to play the kids in that one. The next game they play in the league is Wolves, the 10th of April. Then Palace. Palace are on the beach. They're safe. They're on the beach.
Where are they? Around 14th to 11th?
Yeah, I think around 12th. Who gives a fuck? West Ham then play Everton after that.
Everton are flying it, to be fair.
But that's the other exciting bit. Remember the relegation battle? Okay, West Ham, Tottenham. It's one of those two, I think. But the top of the table, you have Liverpool lost to Brighton. Chelsea got hammered by Everton 3-0. That feels like that's starting to be like, no confidence in the manager levels. That feels like that's falling apart completely, Chelsea. Chelsea on 48, Everton on 46. Both on the same amount of games played. Brentford also on 46. Liverpool on 49. So the 3 points between Everton and Liverpool. Brentford right now in the danger zone of like Europa League to Conference League. Not where you want to be as Brentford.
You don't want that, no.
But Champions League, I mean, the money alone, you'll get to the group stages, you get knocked out, who cares? You've got way more money. You're not going to be dragged through the season playing Thursday nights. It's a realistic goal. Everton, the same thing. Everton, I think, would be destroyed by Europa League quarterfinal run. That would be terrible for them. But the Champions League, again, like to get to group stages, and you're playing a league phase as well. It's like, you'd finish like mid-table, you'd look grand, it'd be great. Yeah, Chelsea, Liverpool, it feels like they're sleepwalking their way out of this, Will.
There's a lot of sleepwalking going on.
It's a good time for the Premier League to have a break, I think. Really just like wake up out of this. Yeah. People are tired of this. I don't know, maybe I'm talking Irish now, but is this the result now of the amount of games they play? It's like at this stage of the season now where teams look just out on their feet. They look wrecked. The top teams are really playing badly, all of them.
Well, what's interesting is I think all these big clubs and the big money deals and the Super Leagues, etc., they wanted these more power, more like 5 slots for the Champions League. We never, like a league phase, so we're constantly in the knockouts. But what it's actually leading to, it feels like, is all of these big teams are worse than ever. And it's like, I could see Brighton or Brentford or Everton winning a league soon at this rate.
Yeah, I could see Everton getting top 5, and
100%.
They really shouldn't. Yeah.
No, they didn't. Like, Jack Grealish got injured.
They're not the 5th best team in England, but I could see it happening that way, So yeah, I don't know. I think the quality this year in the Premier League has been particularly bad. I don't know if that's connected to the amount of games or whatever, but that's always the fear is like, the product, if you want to be cynical about it, becomes worse. But like, if everyone's playing the same amount of games, and there's nothing to compare it to. No one's watching Serie A or whatever, which is worse because they're worse players. So it just lowers the ceiling on how good the games can be, But yeah, it's as interesting as a relegation / top 4 race can be. I guess top 5 now, but it could be all different after the international. It could be all different after the international break.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-week break. I think it's a particularly long one, which is going to feel like... Now, look, Ireland are playing World Cup qualifiers. The first week is going to be exciting times. The next 2 weeks after that, I don't even know what's going on in those weeks.
Well, if we beat Czechia on Thursday, we play Denmark on Tuesday. If we lose, we're out. And then it's 2 weeks then till the Premier League is back.
Oh, I suppose, is it FA Cup in the meantime?
Yes, yeah, it is, yeah. But like...
So that's not too bad. They're near the late stage.
They're, quarterfinals. But like, so like if Ireland lose on Thursday, that's it till the next weekend where there's FA Cup. And, it's FA Cup. At the end of the day, like it's not... The final FA Cup is good. Everything before that. So yeah, I mean, look... We're looking forward to the international break, obviously, at this Thursday. It's finally come. It's taken 3 years since Troy Parrish scored that goal in Hungary, but we're here. It's the big week, the Prague week. This is it. This is the World Cup.
Yeah, this is the final for us. Even again, like I said, it's the Czechia game. Like the thoughts of also then going on and beating Denmark, not happening. Now I can't even imagine that, but. Beating Czechia, that would be good.
When we beat Denmark, that'd be the 5th game on the bounce that Ireland have won. Imagine saying that, imagine that being true.
We'll go into the World Cup thinking we can win 2 of these 3 games. We're going to think we can win 7 games in a row.
Well, there's only 3 games in the group stages. We just won 5 on the bounce. We're like Italy before the last Euros. They're on a winning streak. We'll be on all these lists of like dark horses. Ireland on a 5-game winning streak. First time since 2001, I don't know. Incredible stuff. But we're going to be talking about that on the Ultra episode. We're going to do an Ireland preview. That's going to come out on Wednesday before, maybe Thursday. I don't know what's the best day for it to come out. We'll do it Wednesday. Thursday, people might be working or whatever. I don't know.
They're going to be too focused on the game. They're not going to be able to listen to anything about it.
And I'll be getting my tooth pulled, of course. Two teeth pulled. If it's a boring game and someone says it's like pulling teeth, I'll say, well, hang on. It's not actually. It's nothing like that. I'm well positioned to comment on that today. Arsenal, man, seems like pulling teeth. This game, not so much. So yeah, look, we have that coming up on the Ultra episode. Link in the description. It's patreon.com/no nonsense pod. Sign up for that. We'll obviously be doing the Denmark game as well if we get that far. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Or North Macedonia.
Or
it'll be that.
Or the North Macedonians.
I'd be shocked, but
honestly, that'd be the worst thing that can happen. Because we'd feel like we had it won. We'd get upset by North Macedonia 100%, and then we'd be like, wow, we had it in the palm of our hands. All we do is beat North Macedonia, and we blew it. At home. We lost to North Macedonia at home.
At home, yeah.
That would definitely happen. Because we'd feel like we're going to do it. It's so easy. We're going to do it. And they, of course they'd win. Why wouldn't they win? So yeah, hopefully we are underdogs in this game as well, But look, we'll talk more about it in the other episode, Will. So thank you for listening. If you want to sign up and hear more of that, please do. Until then, we'll see you at the Denmark game. Good luck.
Well, we're not going to it, but
we'll see you there, courtside.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Drama!